Hola, hola, buenas noches, buenos dias, GnGs. My name is Trekkw2ks, and this is Weekend Crypto, brought to you here on the Gentleman Crypto Network. If you don't know, the basic idea behind this show is I cover crypto-related news that drops between a Friday and a Sunday and pop it out Monday morning, 08. And I generally stay away from price talk stuff, and I filter it through the idea of, is this an event or a trend worth noting? For what's going on within the community, within the space, whether we're talking like the OG space or the new TradFi stuff or the CFI, DeFi, the political stuff, whatever. Nonetheless, that's the basic idea of this. If it's your first time, I do appreciate you coming through. Thank you very much for taking the time to explore what I'm saying, and hopefully it at least gets you to question or think about what's going on and how you're operating in the space. Do understand, I'm not a CPA, I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just somebody who kind of been in the space for a minute, and you see the patterns and the trends when you're around this stuff long enough. For the folks who are coming back, thank you, and thank you for the stalkers and the trollers and the scam folks. Hey, I appreciate y'all too. It is the season, the holidays are here, so I understand, right? But nonetheless, be on your P's and Q's, because there are the scammer folks in the comments on this stuff, okay? And you will see my content kind of pop up in places that I might not necessarily be the one posting them. Just throwing that out there for y'all. So let's get into these stories. You'll see where we go with it, all right? So here we are with the first joint. I'm gonna really try to be short because I really didn't do the full digging that I usually do when I run through and try to uh, um, aggregate the stories. So 4 things. I might get a little hyped on certain things, but I'm gonna try to be short with this one. So all right, here we go. First story. In case you were under a rock someplace or you just wasn't connected to anything, MetaMask got removed from the Apple Store. I think it was like either a 48-hour thing or a 24-hour thing. And honestly, this article doesn't even break down what you quote need to know, because at the end of the day, nobody is being transparent about what actually happened. There is nothing saying from MetaMask officially, oh, well, we violated something that, they just added in as a terms of service. There's nothing coming out of the Apple Store side. Here's why I bring this up. And shout out to Wendy O, because she was the first person that I happen to notice who put a video about it on IG. So there's a basic idea. MetaMask was temporarily removed from the Apple Store. Here's the thing to understand about this. It didn't and doesn't mean MetaMask wasn't working. It just meant you couldn't use the app version. Here's the thing that gets me when I was actually reading this and thinking about the story. It doesn't mean that the web version of the MetaMask wallet didn't work. It just meant your app version didn't work. And arguably, from a security standpoint, this might not be the best thing to do, because arguably your phone might be compromised for whatever things you might or might not have been doing on your phone. But if you can still get into the web browser version, just like if you're on your desktop, on your laptop, and you went in through the web browser version, right? You would still have access to all of the stuff. And the web browser version doesn't track as much as your activity. And this goes across the board for anything related to using the web version of it versus the app version. The app version tracks way more of your activity on your phone, because some apps will scan the other apps you have on your phone and how often you use them, and it'll share information back and forth. The point being is that people got scared and paranoid off of, oh my God, the app doesn't work. When it's like, yeah, but the web browser version still works. What are you panicking about? And not to even, and actually to throw this in there, depending on how you're using the app version, were you actually using it where you had some kind of air gap? Like if you had it were you using it where you were also including like using your I can't remember the damn thing right now. Basically a second layer of security. If you had it as far as you using the app version, you can add more things in, arguably, on the browser version. The point being is people got scared off of not having the app version when they still had the web browser version. But the bigger thing that again, a number of other people pointed out, Wendy O was the first one that I seen pointed out, was that this arguably is just a like, hey, we can take away, quote, your access. And I can only imagine how many people don't even know they could use the web browser version of MetaMask. Like, how crazy is that we have this many new users in this whole thing of mass adoption? A matter of fact, that's going to be the theme for this whole goddamn episode. And there's a couple of other stories that also play into this thing of mass adoption. Um, Here's the other thing that annoys me about this situation is that MetaMask puts what they put out, but no one's being transparent. You don't know why they got taken down. You don't know if it was a security breach issue. Did they violate the terms of service with Apple? Is Apple trying to get more money out of them? You don't know what the actual situation is because neither side is being transparent about what the actual reason was, why they got taken down, and then why they got reinstated. So here's the other point to note. If you are only using the app version of this wallet, you might want to start exploring other ways of how to use the MetaMask wallet. Bottom line. Or get something else that isn't as um, controllable by arguably the parent company or arguably the market that the app is on. Just saying, something you might want to explore. All right, I'm not even gonna. Let me stop. I'm moving on. So I seen this story, and it actually came out earlier than Friday. And part of the reason why it catches my attention in particular is because one, we see whose name is involved in it, right? The the red flag, right? The country over there. And so I've been saying it the last couple of episodes. I think for about a month and change, there's been a number of mining stories that get thrown out here and there during the week. X amount of time why this mining stuff has been brought up is because it's like, well, the price is down and blah, 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 blah. And so you'll get these little like expose, little blog type level articles about how mining companies are struggling and some mining companies are still making money because they're turning off power and like the power grid companies are paying them, blah, 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 blah. And now you have this story, which is tying in national security and Bitcoin mining in the state of Wyoming, right? I don't know who thought of the idea to put the Pentagon as the thumbnail picture, but honestly, in my mind, that's stupid. In my mind, it is. I thought they could have did better than that. Like Finbold, y'all could have did better. Okay. So let me get into a couple of these highlight lines here. National security concerns have been raised over a damn. I gotta come up with something else for this because I think there's certain thing. Listen, going forward, and I tried to do it in the last episode. I did. It's gonna be certain things I'm gonna try to avoid saying in audio. It might be on screen, but there's something going on with the YouTube algos right now and how they're using the AI to search through the audio and search through the image, and it messes with how the videos get pushed in discovery. That's what I'm noticing because I noticed there was recently a change in the feed, and now they have this thing where if you're using Brave browser, they're like, well, hey, it's against the rules for you to use ad blockers. If you're on Brave, that's what's popping up now. That's another thing to know. But anywho, so I'm trying to be more mindful of certain verbiage and words, and I might be on the same topics, but I'm still trying to be a little bit more mindful about things because I'm trying to figure out how to not get the channel messed up because of how they're using these new algo AI stuff to filter and push the content. So, pardon me, okay? So yeah, the Sea State mining operation in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and stakeholders believe it could pose a significant threat to critical military infrastructure in the United States. The operation has caught the attention of the U.S. authorities who fear it may have opportunity for the Sea State government to engage in full spectrum intelligence operations, the New York Times reported October 13th. Oh, I got a couple of comments on this, by the way. The crypto mining operation in question was brought to the U.S. government attention when a team at Microsoft submitted a report to the Committee of Foreign Investment in October 2022. So here's all right. So let's just cut to the bullshit with this, right? Um, so one, the actual company is invested in by Microsoft. If they actually do some stuff, guess what happens to Microsoft? They get in trouble. I would argue X amount of this is just fear porn and throwing around the C State Boogie Monster name, which, if you haven't been paying attention for the last, like, what, 5 years, everything is about the C State and the R State, aka the bear. If you don't understand who the bear is in reference to country, I don't know what to say to you. My point is, I'm not saying no, there can't be a level of intelligence operations happening, but what I am saying is what is being made as a connection in this isn't even actually validated as far as like, oh well, the DOE, the Department of Energy, did an investigation and found blah 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 blah. This intelligence agency or this security firm did a report, an investigation, and blah blah. Like, that's not at all what happened here, because let me say, there's nothing in this article that indicates there has been any actual investigation into this company, into what the facility is, how it's designed, what equipment they have. If there has been, it isn't in this article. And considering that this came out more than a year ago and was, quote, brought to the attention of the government, and no investigation has been done, and it's been a year, I'm calling bullshit on how the narrative is being pushed towards the folks. Because, like, here's the thing to understand, right? You got the power company, so that would have been the DOE who would have went after them. Been like, yo, you can't have this company work here because national security, blah, blah, blah. Then you would have had the DOJ. Then you would have had at least 3 different agencies or departments out of the DOD being in their business. And so the other part is, like, then we got to look at, like, how the infrastructure of this facility is built. Like, all right, so you have X amount of mining equipment, you have X amount of AC units, you have X amount of T lines that you have to put in because you're running that yourself. So you got the contracting company who has to come in. And you're telling me you're in that proximity of that military base and that's not being investigated, and it wasn't brought up by the military base operations people? Get the hell. Listen, I say this as somebody who's still on the uniform side. Like, this story don't make sense. So it's either there's other things happening that's not being said, but it's also the other part of, like, there's things happening in the mining space aside from just this money stuff. The tech part of it, the part as how it relates to the economy and the energy grid and all that stuff. Like, that's the other part of this stuff that I feel like isn't nowhere near touched in this article because it is pushing fear porn. I'm saying this to you as far as expect to hear more stories about mining and the foreign influence in the companies that are either the parent company or the subsidiary operator. And it's going to be out of 2 different governments that you're going to keep hearing tossed around. The R state, aka the bear, and then the C state, aka the red flag. Those are the 2. And you're going to start seeing their name pop up in other things related to the space, related to crypto. And now it's going to be more scrutiny of, oh, national security, oh, anti-money laundering, oh, like, yeah. Anywho, jumping off to this next joint. Next story. So, I'm going to say shout outs to Tavania Evans, right? Because I was looking on LinkedIn, I think, and yeah, it was either LinkedIn or it was Twitter, one of the 2. And so I happened to see her account, and she was the first one to mention it. But she made the point of, like, so Ferrari's accepting Bitcoin, and then you're saying this and you're being hyped about it when you can't even afford a Ferrari. So most of the people who have crypto or Bitcoin in particular, well, let's put it this way. Most of the people who have crypto, when the halvening does what it does, and then we have the whole, like, high tides raise all ships, whatever, and then everything starts doing what it do as far as the price movement. Here's the funny thing about human behavior. And I know I'm running left and right. I'm gonna bring it back in. Ferrari is basically setting themselves up to be able to get some gains off of the price movement of Bitcoin specifically, but technically this is any crypto. Because why? You can convert any crypto into Bitcoin. And we all know at this point, a number of people have different cryptocurrencies besides Bitcoin. And then you got folks who just haven't even messed with Bitcoin from day one of them being in the space. So here's the other thing to note about this. I'm like, it's not even worth the highlights, y'all. It's so not even worth the highlights. So Ferrari will accept cryptocurrency as a payment method for its luxury car in the U.S., according to Reuters report. Here's the thing that you really need to understand. Where are you at? So for the U.S. operations, the company has partnered with BitPay, a notable cryptocurrency payment processor. Payments in Bitcoin, either and the stablecoin USDC will be accepted and promptly converted into fiat currency to safeguard dealer from cryptocurrency price volatility. So there you have it, right? So what happens on the back end is, hey, they're just going to convert out, and that's at point of sale. So you come over, hey, I want this car. I just became a half a millionaire. I just became a full millionaire because I had whatever Shiba Inu, and then I converted it into Bitcoin. I converted it into the stable coin, and I'm gonna go spend on a luxurious item. Ferrari is betting on people's proclivity to, once they have money, to spend on fancy things to validate and show that they have money, or they have a certain level of value as far as money is concerned, i.e. the Ferrari brand, the Ferrari car. And I'm not mad at them for like understanding how people operate. And I'm not mad at them that somebody from BitPay, whoever the biz dev development person is, shout outs to them for doing their thing on getting this business partnership together. And as King was saying, like, oh wow, this is great because it means mass adoption. This is going to be a net positive because you're going to have more people in the space, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of it, though, here's the thing. I could still just go to somebody who has a Ferrari and be like, yo, just sell me your Ferrari. Here's this crypto. Here's this Bitcoin. Here's this USDC. Right? Here's whatever stablecoin thing is. If I could find somebody in a private sale, or I can even, well, actually, no, you can't even do that shit as a dealer. If you're a dealer, when Ferrari tells you what you can and can't do, from how I understand it, you listen to what they tell you, because you can get blacklisted real quick when you do things that they don't agree with as far as their business practices and how it connects into their brand messaging and image stuff. So that's a thing definitely be cautious of. But the point being is that you are already able to do this stuff. If you don't know, BitPay is what? Over 5 years? No, BitPay is more than 5 years old. BitPay is probably like 8 years old or something now as a company in this space. So you were able to do this before C19. You was able to do this, Ferrari, before 2017. Like, this is the stuff that's kind of getting me right now with this mass adoption stuff. The things that crypto is being introduced into or being combined with, and whatever crypto it is you're talking about, as far as well, you can use it in everyday life. Like, guess what? You was able to do this more than 5 years ago. This isn't a new. That's the part that's killing me with this right now. This isn't a new. This is more than 5 years old as a function and capability and interoperability and integration into everyday life, and how we spend, save, and transact and move our currency and the things that we look to acquire in life. That's the shit that's like irking me right now when I look at what's going on. I'm gonna get off the high horse. Jumping into this last story, this last one here. Yo, MasterCard over this last like 9 months has been on their grind to make sure they're doing this cross-branding thing with crypto, NFTs, Web3, CBDCs, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so MasterCard tests CBDCs on Ethereum in Australia pilot. Here's what kind of lost me in this story. First off, why is he on here? Bill Nye, the science guy. I didn't understand. Like, who is doing your artwork? Y'all need to take lessons from Cointelegraph and freaking CoinDesk. Like, I don't know who's doing y'all stuff. And on top of it, this is an AI generated piece. Like, y'all got to do better. I don't know. Y'all got to do better. I'm sorry. I'm feeling aggy. I don't even know why right now. But anywho, so MasterCard recently completed a central bank digital currency trial in collaboration with the Reserve Bank of Australia. The digital forensics Finance Cooperative Research Center. The project explored MasterCard's capability to enable CBDC. I'm gonna just say blue dogs because to me, CBDCs are blue dogs. If you don't know why I'm saying blue dogs, go back in my episodes. I explain what the whole blue dog thing is. I even did an article on damn, I forgot where I wrote the article at, but I've explained this thing out in a number of other videos. Sorry, so transactions on the public Ethereum blockchain. So interesting thing to note, right? When you go through, because they did this through Mintable. Mintable was the platform that had the NFT quote. So let me read. So specifically, MasterCard showcased how its technology could allow a holder of a pilot CBDC, aka Blue Dog, to purchase a non-fungible token, NFT, listed on a public Ethereum blockchain. To enable this, the solution locked the required CBDC, Blue Dog amount, on the RBA's platform while minting wrapped token on Ethereum. All right, so once again, they are literally trying to make it sound like they're doing something brand new and innovative, but it's not. Here's why. In this application of what is being explained is CBDCs are basically another form of currency because you can already use cash, aka fiat, on some NFT marketplaces. So the idea is there a path, a payment rail option for you to be able to use the currency that you have access to? CBDCs in this situation are no more than another currency option. So if I wanted to use Bitcoin, a stable coin, XRP, the what's the thing, cash, if I wanted to use not cash, but like if I want to use fiat, as far as a ruble, as far as a peso, as far as a USD, as far as a CBDC, then you get into whose CBDC can you use, right? Because CBDCs are going to go through their phase of being like currencies where they're tied to the national the country of origin. That's the other thing to understand about how CBDCs are going to play out. There's going to be that whole national connection thing. What nation are they connected to? So, and so that's another thing that's not covered in this article. They're not breaking down like, wait a minute, is this the Australian CBDC? Is this the what's the name of this bank? Is this the RBA's CBDC? They're not breaking that down. Just like how people be like, oh, it's a blockchain. It's the blockchain. What blockchain are we talking about? When you start hearing people talk about, oh, it's CBDC, it's a CBDC, oh, we're doing CBDC stuff, you got to start putting it in the context of which CBDC are we talking about? What nation state or what financial institution? Whose CBDC are we talking about? Just like how when we say, oh, it's the blockchain, blah. Wait. What blockchain are we talking about? Is it Solana? Is it Ethereum? Is it Bitcoin? Is it Monero? That's what this is going to turn into. Other things to note, this is literally the same thing as far as friggin' BitPay and Ferrari. The item, and if you watch the video that MasterCard sets up for you, that they have on, I think it's on YouTube, it's literally one user has CBDCs. They want to purchase the creative person's NFT who priced it in Ethereum. And then all they do is go to the marketplace and go, well, I have CBDCs. I don't have Ethereum. And then they use the CBDCs as a form of currency to purchase the item that is in another form of currency as far as the pricing is concerned. And it equivalates to what the equal amount is in the Ethereum. Which basically means all they're doing is like, it's like you using Cash App to use your bank currency, like your bank that's attached to your Cash App, to buy Bitcoin. It's like you're using an exchange to buy the currency of the item, but as opposed to buying the currency and walking away with that crypto, you're walking away with the NFT. That's all this is, and this isn't new shit. It's just TradeFi and these traditional finance companies rebranding and rewording the stuff that's been around for more than 5 years, y'all. Like the shit that's getting What's getting me right now with this thing of mass adoption and how it's playing out, I don't know if to say here in the West, but even in the other, countries and stuff that I'm paying attention to, is it's making it seem like this is new innovations. It's the stuff that the big companies are pushing is not new. It's them rebranding the stuff that was already here and then only giving you the base model of it. They're not even giving you the stuff with all the full features and functions. They're giving you the base model. Like, that's the part that's blowing my mind. And folks are out here like, oh yeah, MasterCard and Ferrari and blah 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 blah. And it's like, nah, dog. They're giving you the scrappy version of it. It's not the bells and whistles version. And some people will argue, well, oh, the bells and whistles stuff is too complicated. You got to Apple stream it. Like, you got to make it as simple and clean as possible. I hear you, but I also know what that means. It's a double-edged sword when someone tells you we need to streamline it and make it as simple as possible. It also means they want to take away your ability and understanding of the full capability and spectrum of a thing, especially when it comes to technology. All right, y'all, I'm done. I'm rambling. I'm ranting. I'm raving. The space has been slowly but surely disappointing to me a fair amount for some of the things that I'm seeing. And I'm sorry, y'all. This is just where I'm at with stuff right now. But do remember, if I said anything that you don't agree with, I'm 100% okay with that. But understand, I'm not a CPA. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just somebody who's been in the space for a minute. I do appreciate the folks who give me pushback on the things that I'm saying. I do appreciate the folks who have different takes and views on this stuff. Remember what I also say, I don't do the price talk stuff. So if you go on, but it's going to be money, 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 money. Yo, whatever floats your boat, man. I'm cool with that. If it works for you, it works for you. Hopefully something I said got some of y'all folks out there thinking. That's the best thing that I can kind of, hope for as far as all of these episodes that I've recorded so far and pushing out this news. And I'm gonna leave that on there, man, until the next one, and it's Monday, so hopefully y'all have a productive or a busy day. Other thing to note, so Metaverse the Other Side is the joint I do with 3D on Thursdays, pushing those the replays out on Saturdays. We trying to hit this topic on this anime joint that was it an anime or was it a TV show? I can't remember the name of the joint right now, but we're gonna do that on Thursday, 8 p.m. and we're gonna get into that because it's crazy how some of the stuff that you see in these cartoons now, these anime things in particular, these Netflix related joints, it's not as a matter of fact, it's that new Netflix series called Good Night World. When I tell you that joint is a level of Inception meets Genocidal Organ meets Free Guy meets I'm not even gonna say Johnny Mnemonic, but like it's a crazy storyline. Oh, and it's that listen, we're gonna talk about that this Thursday. It's the new Netflix series called Good Night World or Hello Good Night, something along that line. But the storyline is crazy and it relates to some of the stuff that we project to eventually start happening in metaverses. It's not 100%, and we're not saying this tomorrow, but we'll get into that on Thursday. Come check us out on the Build a DAO account. Link is in the description on this. Also, links for these articles will also be in the description on this. Definitely, if you want to dig deep in the articles, that's why I put those things there. You can follow up with that stuff on your own time. I do highly encourage folks to do their own due diligence. Again, take everything I say with a grain of salt, and it is what it is. I do highly encourage y'all to do your own due diligence and the stuff because the space is moving, is picking up, and the stuff that they're telling folks and trying to reframe how this tech works, I see more people falling for it day for day, y'all. But anywho, last thing is, as I say, have a productive over busy day. If it can't be that, at least be in a safe place, in a safe space, and in good company. And from one human to the next, that is the best thing that I can wish for you. All right, y'all. One.